Madonna Louise Ciccone is an American singer, songwriter, and actress. Referred to as the Queen of Pop, Madonna is noted for her continual reinvention and versatility in music production, songwriter, and visual presentation. She has pushed the boundaries of artistic expression in mainstream music, while maintaining control over every aspect of her career. Her works, which incorporate social, political, sexual, and religious themes, have generated both controversy and critical acclaim. A prominent cultural figure crossing the 20th and 21st centuries, Madonna remains one of the most well-documented figures of the modern age, with a broad amount of scholarly reviews and literature works on her, as well as an academic mini-subdiscipline devoted to her named Madonna Studies. Madonna moved to New York City in 1978 to pursue a career in modern dance. After performing as a drummer, guitarist, and vocalist in the rock bands Breakfast Club and Emmy, she rose to solo stardom with her debut studio album, Madonna. She followed it with a series of successful albums, including all-time bestsellers like A Virgin, True Blue and the Immaculate Collection, as well as Grammy Award winners Ray of Light and Confessions on a Dance Floor. Madonna has amassed many chart-topping singles throughout her career, including Like a Virgin, La Isla Bonita, Like a Prayer, Vogue, Take a Bow, Frozen, Music, Hung Up, and 4 Minutes. Madonna's popularity was enhanced by roles in films such as Desperately Seeking Susan, Dick Tracy, A League of Their Own, and Evita. While Evita won her a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, many of her other films received poor reviews. As a businesswoman, Madonna founded the company Maverick in 1992. It included Maverick Records, one of the most successful artist-run labels in history. Her other ventures include fashion brands, written works, health clubs, and filmmaking. She contributes to various charities, having founded the Ray of Light Foundation in 1998 and Raising Malawi in 2006. With sales of over 300 million records worldwide, Madonna is the best-selling female recording artist of all time. She is the most successful solo artist in the history of the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart and has achieved the most #1 singles by a woman in Australia, Canada, Italy, Spain, and the United Kingdom. With a revenue of over US $1.5 billion from her concert tickets, she remains the highest-grossing female touring artist worldwide. Forbes has named Madonna the annual top-earning female musician, a record 11 times across 4 decades. She was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2008, her first year of eligibility. Madonna was ranked as the greatest woman in music by VH1, and as the greatest music video artist ever by MTV and Billboard. Rolling Stone also listed her among its greatest artists and greatest songwriters of all time. Life and career. 1958–1978, early life. Madonna Louise Ciccone was born on August 16, 1958, in Bay City, Michigan, to Catholic parents Madonna Louise and Silvio Anthony Tony Ciccone. Her father's parents were Italian immigrants from Pay Centro while her mother was of French-Canadian descent. Tony Ciccone worked as an engineer-designer for Chrysler and General Motors. Since Madonna had the same name as her mother, family members called her a little Nani. Her mother died of breast cancer on December 1, 1963. She later adopted Veronica as a confirmation name when getting confirmed in the Catholic Church in 1966. Madonna was raised in the Detroit suburbs of Pontiac and Avon Township, alongside her 2 older brothers, Anthony and Martin, and 3 younger siblings, Paula, Christopher, and Melanie. In 1966, Tony married the family's housekeeper Joan Gustafson. They had 2 children, Jennifer and Mario. Madonna resented her father for getting remarried and began rebelling against him, which strained their relationship for many years afterward. Madonna attended St. Frederick's and St. Andrew's Catholic elementary schools, and West Middle School. She was known for her high grade point average and achieved notoriety for her unconventional behavior. Madonna would perform cartwheels and handstands in the hallways between classes, dangle by her knees from the monkey bars during recess, and pull up her skirt during class all so that the boys could see her underwear. She later admitted to seeing herself in her youth as a lonely girl who was searching for something. I wasn't rebellious in a certain way. I cared about being good at something. I didn't shave my underarms and I didn't wear makeup like normal girls do. But I studied and I got good grades. I wanted to be somebody. Madonna's father put her in classical piano lessons, but she later convinced him to allow her to take ballet lessons. Christopher Flynn, her ballet teacher, persuaded her to pursue a career in dance. Madonna later attended Rochester Adams High School and became a straight-A student as well as a member of its cheerleading squad. After graduating, she received a dance scholarship to the University of Michigan and studied over the summer at the American Dance Festival in Durham, North Carolina. In 1978, Madonna dropped out of college and relocated to New York City. She said of her move to New York, "It was the first time I'd ever taken a plane, the first time I'd ever gotten a taxi cab. I came here with $35 in my pocket. It was the bravest thing I'd ever done." Madonna soon found an apartment in the Alphabet City neighborhood of the East Village and had little money while working at Dunkin' Donuts and with modern dance troupes, taking classes at the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and eventually performing with Pearl Lang Dance Theater. She also studied dance under the tutelage of Martha Graham, the noted American dancer and choreographer. Madonna started to work as a backup dancer for other established artists. One night, while returning from a rehearsal, a pair of men held her at knife point and forced her to perform fellatio. She later found the incident to be a taste of my weakness. It showed me that I still could not save myself in spite of all the strong girl show. I could never forget it. 1979–1983, Career Beginnings, Rock Bands, and I Madonna/I. None. 1984–1987, I Like a Virgin/I, First Marriage, I True Blue/I, and I Who's That Girl/I. None. 1988–1991, I Like a Prayer/I, I Dick Tracy/I, and I Truth or Dare/I. None. 1992–1997, Maverick, I Erotica/I, I Sex/I, I Bedtime Stories/I, I Evita/I, and Motherhood. None. 1998–2002, I Ray of Light/I, I Music/I, Second Marriage, and Touring Comeback. None. 2003–2006, I American Life/I and I Confessions on a Dance Floor/I. None. 2007–2011, Filmmaking, I Hard Candy/I, and Business Ventures. None. 2012–2017, Super Bowl XLVI Halftime Show, I Am DNA/I, and I Rebel Heart/I. None. 2018–present, I Madam X/I, Catalog Reissues, an autobiographical film. None. Artistry. Influences. According to Tara Borelli, the death of her mother had the most influence in shaping Madonna into the woman she would become. He believed that the devastation and abandonment Madonna felt at the loss of her mother taught her a valuable lesson, that she would have to remain strong for herself because she feared weakness, particularly her own. Author Lucy O'Brien opines that the impact of the sexual assault Madonna suffered in her young adult years was the motivating factor behind everything she has done. More important than the death of her mother, it's not so much grief at her mother's death that drives her, as the sense of abandonment that left her unprotected. She encountered her own worst possible scenario, becoming a victim of male violence, and thereafter turned that full tilt into her work, reversing the equation at every opportunity. Madonna has called Nancy Sinatra one of her idols. She said Sinatra's "These Boots Are Made for Walkin'" made a major impression on her. As a young woman, she attempted to broaden her taste in literature, art, and music, and during this time became interested in classical music. She noted that her favorite style was Baroque, and loved Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and Frédéric Chopin because she liked their feminine quality. Madonna's major influences include Debbie Harry, Chrissie Hynde, Karen Carpenter, The Supremes, and Led Zeppelin, as well as dancers Martha Graham and Rudolf Nureyev. She also grew up listening to David Bowie, whose show was the first rock concert she ever attended. During her childhood, Madonna was inspired by actors, later saying, "I loved Carole Lombard and Judy Holliday and Marilyn Monroe. They were all incredibly funny, and I saw myself in them, my girlishness, my knowingness, and my innocence." Her Material Girl music video recreated Monroe's look in the song "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend," from the film Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. She studied the screwball comedies of the 1930s, particularly those of Lombard, in preparation for the film Who's That Girl? The video for Express Yourself was inspired by Fritz Lang's silent film Metropolis. The video for Vogue recreated the style of Hollywood glamour photographs, in particular those by Horst P. Horst, and imitated the poses of Marlene Dietrich, Carole Lombard, and Rita Hayworth, while the lyrics referred to many of the stars who had inspired her, including Bette Davis, described by Madonna as an idol. Influences also came to her from the art world, such as through the works of Mexican artist Frida Kahlo. The music video of the song Bedtime Story featured images inspired by the paintings of Kahlo and Remedios Varo. Madonna is also a collector of Tamara de Lempicka's Art Deco paintings and has included them in her music videos and tours. Her video for Hollywood was an homage to the work of photographer Guy Bourdin. Bourdin's son subsequently filed a lawsuit for unauthorized use of his father's work. Pop artist Andy Warhol's use of sadomasochistic imagery in his underground films were reflected in the music videos for Erotica and Deeper and Deeper. Madonna's Catholic background has been reflected throughout her career, from her fashion use of rosary to her musical outputs, including on Like a Prayer. Her album MDNA has also drawn many influences from her Catholic upbringing, and since 2011 she has been attending meetings and services at an Opus Dei Center, a Catholic institution that encourages spirituality through everyday life. In a 2016 interview, she commented, "I always feel some kind of inexplicable connection with Catholicism. It kind of shows up in all of my work, as you may have noticed." Her study of the Kabbalah was also observed in Madonna's music, especially albums like Ray of Light and Music. Speaking of religion in a 2019 interview with Harry Smith of Today, Madonna stated, "The God that I believe in, created the world he/her/they isn't a God to fear, it's a God to give thanks to." In an appearance on Andrew Denton's interview she added, "The idea that in any church you go, you see a man on a cross and everyone genuflects and prays to him, in a way it's paganism/idolatry because people are worshipping a thing." Musical style and composition. Madonna's music has been the subject of much analysis and scrutiny. Robert M. Grant, author of Contemporary Strategy Analysis, commented that Madonna's musical career has been a continuous experimentation with new musical ideas and new images and a constant quest for new heights of fame and acclaim. Thomas Harrison in the book Pop Goes the Decade, the 80s deemed Madonna an artist who pushed the boundaries of what a female singer could do, both visually and lyrically. Professor Santiago Fus Hernandez asserted, while not gifted with an especially powerful or wide-ranging voice, Madonna has worked to expand her artistic palette to encompass diverse musical, textual and visual styles and various vocal guises, all with the intention of presenting herself as a mature musician. Madonna has remained in charge in every aspect of her career, including as a writer and producer in most of her own music. Her desire for control had already been seen during the making of her debut album, where she fought Reggie Lucas over his production output. However, it was not until her third album that Warner allowed Madonna to produce her own album. Stan Hawkins, author of Settling the Pop Score, explained, "It is as musician and producer that Madonna is one of the few female artists to have broken into the male domain of the recording studio. Undoubtedly, Madonna is fully aware that women have been excluded from the musical workplace on most levels, and has set out to change this." Producer Stuart Price stated, "You don't produce Madonna, you collaborate with her. She has her vision and knows how to get it." Despite being labeled a control freak, Madonna has said that she valued input from her collaborators. She further explained, "I like to have control over most of the things in my career, but I'm not a tyrant. I don't have to have it on my album that it's written, arranged, produced, directed, and stars Madonna. To me, to have total control means you can lose objectivity. What I like is to be surrounded by really talented, intelligent people that you can trust, and ask them for their advice and get their input." Madonna's early songwriter skill was developed during her time with The Breakfast Club in 1979. She subsequently became the sole writer of 5 songs on her debut album, including Lucky Star, which she composed on synthesizer. As a songwriter, Madonna has registered more than 300 tracks to ASCAP, including 18 songs written entirely by herself. Rolling Stone has named her an exemplary songwriter with a gift for hooks and indelible lyrics. Despite having worked with producers across many genres, the magazine noted that Madonna's compositions have been consistently stamped with her own sensibility and inflected with autobiographical detail. Patrick Leonard, who co-wrote many of her hit songs, called Madonna a Helluva songwriter, explaining, "Her sensibility about melodic line from the beginning of the verse to the end of the verse and how the verse and the chorus influence each other is very deep. Many times she's singing notes that no one would have thought of but her." Barry Walters from Spin credited her songwriter as the reason of her musical consistency. Madonna has been nominated for being inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame 3 times. In 2015, Rolling Stone ranked Madonna at number 56 on the 100 Greatest Songwriters of All Time list. Madonna's discography is generally categorized as pop, electronica, and dance. Nevertheless, Madonna's first foray into the music industry was dabbling in rock music with Breakfast Club and Emmy. As the frontwoman of Emmy, Madonna recorded about 12-14 songs that resemble the punk rock of that period. Madonna soon abandoned playing rock songs by the time she signed to Gotham Records, which eventually dropped her since they were unhappy with her new funk direction. According to Earl Wine, Madonna began her career as a disco diva, in an era that did not have any such divas to speak of. In the beginning of the 1980s, disco was an anathema to the mainstream pop, and Madonna had a huge role in popularizing dance music as mainstream music. Ari Kaplan in the book American Pop, Hitmakers, Superstars, and Dance Revolutionaries referred to Madonna as a pioneer of dance pop. According to Fus Hernandez, Madonna's frequent use of dance idioms and subsequent association with gay or sexually liberated audiences, is seen as somehow inferior to real rock and roll. But Madonna's music refuses to be defined by narrow boundaries of gender, sexuality, or anything else. The cold and emotional ballad Live to Tell, as well as its parent album True Blue, is noted as Madonna's first musical reinvention. Pop Matters writer Peter Pietkowski described it as a very deliberate effort to present Madonna as a mature and serious artist. She continued producing ballads in between her upbeat material, although albums such as Madonna and Confessions on a Dance Floor consist of entirely dance tracks. With Ray of Light, critics acknowledged Madonna for bringing electronica from its underground status into massive popularity in mainstream music scene. Her other sonically drastic ventures include the 1930s big band jazz on I'm Breathless, lush R&B on Bedtime Stories, operatic show tunes on Evita, guitar-driven folk music on American Life, as well as multilingual world music on Madam X. Voice and instruments. Possessing a mezzo-soprano vocal range, Madonna has always been self-conscious about her voice. Mark Bigo, author of Madonna, Blonde Ambition, called her the perfect vocalist for lighter-than-air songs, despite not being a heavyweight talent. According to Tony Sclafani from MSNBC, Madonna's vocals are the key to her rock roots. Pop vocalists usually sing songs straight, but Madonna employs subtext, irony, aggression, and all sorts of vocal idiosyncrasies in the ways John Lennon and Bob Dylan did. Madonna used a bright, girlish vocal timbre in her early albums which became passé in her later works. The change was deliberate since she was constantly reminded of how the critics had once labeled her as Minnie Mouse on helium. During the filming of Evita, Madonna had to take vocal lessons, which increased her range further. Of this experience she commented, "I studied with a vocal coach for Evita and I realized there was a whole piece of my voice I wasn't using. Before, I just believed I had a really limited range and was going to make the most of it." Besides singing, Madonna has the ability to play several musical instruments. Piano was the first instrument taught to her as a child. In the late 1970s, she learned to play drum and guitar from her then-boyfriend Dan Gilroy, before joining the Breakfast Club lineup as the drummer. She later played guitar with the band Emmy as well as on her own demo recordings. After her career breakthrough, Madonna was absent performing with guitar for years, but she is credited for playing cowbell on Madonna and synthesizer on Like a Prayer. In 1999, Madonna had studied for 3 months to play the violin for the role as a violin teacher in the film Music of the Heart, but she eventually left the project before filming began. Madonna decided to perform with guitar again during the promotion of Music and recruited guitarist Monty Pittman to help improve her skill. Since then, Madonna has played guitar on every tour, as well as her studio albums. She received a nomination for Les Paul Horizon Award at the 2002 Orville H. Gibson Guitar Awards. Music videos and performances. In the Madonna Companion, biographers Alan Metz and Carol Benson noted that Madonna had used MTV and music videos to establish her popularity and enhance her recorded work more than any other recent pop artist. According to them, many of her songs have the imagery of the music video in strong context, while referring to the music. Cultural critic Mark C. Taylor in his book Knots felt that the postmodern art form par excellence is the video and the reigning queen of video is Madonna. He further asserted that the most remarkable creation of MTV is Madonna. The responses to Madonna's excessively provocative videos have been predictably contradictory. The media and public reaction towards her most discussed songs such as Papa Don't Preach, Like a Prayer, or Justify My Love had to do with the music videos created to promote the songs and their impact, rather than the songs themselves. Morton felt that artistically, Madonna's songwriter is often overshadowed by her striking pop videos. In 2003, MTV named her the greatest music video star ever and said that Madonna's innovation, creativity, and contribution to the music video art form is what won her the award. In 2020, Billboard ranked her atop the 100 greatest music video artists of all time. Madonna's initial music videos reflected her American and Hispanic mixed street style combined with a flamboyant glamour. She was able to transmit her avant-garde downtown Manhattan fashion sense to the American audience. The imagery and incorporation of Hispanic culture and Catholic symbolism continued with the music videos from the True Blue era. Author Douglas Kellner noted, "Such multiculturalism and her culturally transgressive moves turned out to be highly successful moves that endeared her to large and varied youth audiences." Madonna's Spanish look in the videos became the fashion trend of that time, in the form of boleros and layered skirts, accessorizing with rosary beads and a crucifix as in the video of La Isla Bonita. Academics noted that with her videos, Madonna was subtly reversing the usual role of male as the dominant sex. This symbolism and imagery was probably the most prevalent in the music video for Like a Prayer. The video included scenes of an African American church choir, Madonna being attracted to a black saint statue, and singing in front of burning crosses. Madonna's acting performances in films have frequently received poor reviews from film critics. Stephanie Zacharek stated in Time that, "Seems wooden and unnatural as an actress, and it's tough to watch because she's clearly trying her damnedest." According to biographer Andrew Morton, Madonna puts a brave face on the criticism, but privately she is deeply hurt. After the critically panned box office bomb swept away, Madonna vowed never to act again in a film. While reviewing her career retrospective titled Body of Work at New York's Metrograph Hall, The Guardian's Nigel M. Smith wrote that Madonna's film career suffered mostly due to lack of proper material supplied to her, and she otherwise could steal a scene for all the right reasons. Metz noted that Madonna represents a paradox as she is often perceived as living her whole life as a performance. While her big screen performances are panned, her live performances are critical successes. Madonna was the first artist to have her concert tours as reenactments of her music videos. Author Ellen Diamond explained that reciprocally, the fact that images from Madonna's videos can be recreated in a live setting enhances the original video's realism. She believed that her live performances have become the means by which mediatized representations are naturalized. Tara Borelli said that encompassing multimedia, latest technology and sound systems, Madonna's concerts and live performances are extravagant showpiece, walking art show. Chris Nelson from the New York Times commented that artists like Madonna and Janet Jackson set new standards for showmanship, with concerts that included not only elaborate costumes and precision-timed pyrotechnics but also highly athletic dancing. These effects came at the expense of live singing. Thor Christensen of the Dallas Morning News commented that while Madonna earned a reputation for lip-syncing during her 1990 Blonde Ambition World Tour, she has subsequently reorganized her performances by stay mostly still during her toughest singing parts and the dance routines to her backup troupe, rather than try to croon and dance up a storm at the same time. To allow for greater movement while dancing and singing, Madonna was one of the earliest adopters of hands-free radio frequency headset microphones, with the headset fastened over the ears or the top of the head, and the microphone capsule on a boom arm that extended to the mouth. Because of her prominent usage, the microphone design came to be known as the Madonna mic. Legacy. Madonna has built a legacy that transcends music and has been studied by sociologists, historians, and other scholars, contributing to the rise of Madonna studies, a subfield of American cultural studies. According to Rodrigo Fresson, saying that Madonna is just a pop star is as inappropriate as saying that Coca-Cola is just a soda. Madonna is one of the classic symbols of Made in USA. Rolling Stone Spain wrote, "She became the first master of viral pop in history, years before the internet was massively used." Madonna was everywhere, in the almighty music television channels, radio formulas, magazine covers and even in bookstores. A pop dialectic, never seen since the Beatles' reign, which allowed her to keep on the edge of trend and commerciality. William Langley from the Daily Telegraph felt that Madonna has changed the world's social history, has done more things as more different people than anyone else is ever likely to. Professor Diane Pecknold noted that nearly any poll of the biggest, greatest, or best in popular culture includes name. In 2012, VH1 ranked Madonna as the greatest woman in music. According to Acclaimed Music, which statistically aggregates hundreds of critics' lists, Madonna is the most acclaimed female musician of all time. Spin writer Bianca Gracie stated that the Queen of Pop isn't enough to describe Madonna, she is pop. formulated the blueprint of what a pop star should be. According to Sclafani, it's worth noting that before Madonna, most music megastars were guy rockers. After her, almost all would be female singers. When the Beatles hit America, they changed the paradigm of performer from solo act to band. Madonna changed it back with an emphasis on the female. Howard Kramer, curatorial director of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, asserted that Madonna and the career she carved out for herself made possible virtually every other female pop singer to follow. She certainly raised the standards of all of them. She redefined what the parameters were for female performers. Andy Bennett and Steve Waxman, authors of the Sage Handbook of Popular Music, noted that almost all female pop stars of recent years, Britney Spears, Beyoncé, Rihanna, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and others acknowledge the important influence of Madonna on their own careers. Madonna has also influenced male artists, inspiring rock frontman Liam Gallagher of Oasis and Chester Bennington of Linkin Park to become musicians. Madonna's use of sexual imagery has benefited her career and catalyzed public discourse on sexuality and feminism. The Times wrote that she had started a revolution amongst women in music. Her attitudes and opinions on sex, nudity, style, and sexuality forced the public to sit up and take notice. Professor John Fisk noted that the sense of empowerment that Madonna offers is inextricably connected with the pleasure of exerting some control over the meanings of self, of sexuality, and of one's social relations. In doing gender in media, art, and culture, the authors noted that Madonna, as a female celebrity, performer, and pop icon, can unsettle standing feminist reflections and debates. According to lesbian feminist Sheila Jeffries, Madonna represents woman's occupancy of what Monique Wittig calls the category of sex, as powerful, and appears to gleefully embrace the performance of the sexual corvée allotted to women. Professor S.U.T. Hawley has referred to her as an almost sacred feminist icon. Writing for The Guardian, Matt Cain stated that Madonna has broke down social barriers and brought marginalized groups to the forefront, by frequently featuring LGBT, Latino, and Black culture in her works. An author said that by making culture generally available, Madonna becomes the culture of all social classes. Canadian professor Carleen Faith gave her point of view, saying that Madonna's peculiarity is that she has cruised so freely through so many cultural terrains, and she has been a cult figure within self-propelling subcultures just as she became a major. GLAAD president Sarah Kate Ellis stated that Madonna always has and always will be the LGBTQ community's greatest ally, while The Advocate dubbed her as the greatest gay icon. Madonna has received acclaim as a role model for businesswomen, achieving the kind of financial control that women had long fought for within the industry, and generating over $1.2 billion in sales within the first decade of her career. According to Jeannie Gorlinsky in the book The 100 Most Influential Musicians of All Time, Madonna's levels of power and control were unprecedented for a woman in the entertainment industry. London Business School academics called her a dynamic entrepreneur worth copying. They identified her vision of success, her understanding of the music industry, her ability to recognize her own performance limits, her willingness to work hard, and her ability to adapt as the keys to her commercial success. Morton wrote that Madonna is opportunistic, manipulative, and ruthless, somebody who won't stop until she gets what she wants, and that's something you can get at the expense of maybe losing your close ones. But that hardly mattered to her. Awards and achievements. Madonna's net worth is estimated between $590 million to $800 million. Forbes has named her the annual top-earning female musician 11 times across the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, and 2010s. She has sold over 300 million records worldwide. The Guinness World Records acknowledged her as the best-selling female music artist of all time. According to the Recording Industry Association of America, she is the best-selling female rock artist of the 20th century and the third highest certified female albums artist in the United States, with 64.5 million certified album units. She has the most RIAA multi-platinum albums by a female artist, with 12 releases. Madonna is the most certified artist of all time in United Kingdom, with 45 awards from the British phonographic industry as of April 2013. Madonna had generated over $1.5 billion from ticket sales of her concert tours throughout her career. According to Billboard Box's Core, she is the highest-grossing female touring artist of all time, grossing over $1.376 billion between 1990 and 2020. Madonna also remains the only woman in history to have 2 solo concerts with 100,000 sold tickets. Her Who's That Girl World Tour's concert in Parc des Sciaz, Paris, drew over 130,000 audience, while her Girly Show's concert in Maracanã Stadium, Rio de Janeiro, drew over 120,000 audience. She has also won 7 Grammy Awards and 20 MTV Video Music Awards, including the 1986 Video Vanguard Award, for which she became the first female recipient. According to Billboard, Madonna is the most successful solo artist in the Hot 100 chart history and the most successful dance club artist of all time. With a total of 50 dance club songs chart toppers, Madonna became the artist with the most number ones on any singular Billboard chart, pulling ahead of George Strait with 44 number 1 songs on the Hot Country Songs chart. She has also scored 38 top 10 singles on the Hot 100. She held the record among all artists for nearly 2 decades, before being overtaken by Drake and by Taylor Swift in 2022 among females. Internationally, Madonna holds the record for the most number 1 singles by a female artist in Australia, Canada, Italy, Finland, Spain, and the United Kingdom. At the 40th anniversary of the GFK Media Control charts, Madonna was ranked as the most successful singles artist in German chart history. Discography. Filmography. Films starred. Films directed. Filth and Wisdom. W.E. Tours. Enterprises. Boy Toy, Inc. Webo Girl Publishing, Inc. Maverick. Ray of Light Foundation. Raising Malawi. Hard Candy Fitness. Truth or Dare by Madonna. See also